Hey, welcome back to Your True Identity podcast, and I'm joined here by Katie Parrott. Katie is one of the four kids of Colleen and John Parrott. Colleen, as you know, was in our last episode, and Katie is joining me to talk about identity and why identity and knowing your identity in Jesus Christ is so important. And so, Katie, you are 19, and you know that you've lived currently in a world where culture influences quite a bit and can influence your identity and maybe challenge who you think you are and who you think you should be. And so I'd love for you to share with those who are watching and listening a little bit about your journey and your story and what influenced you. You know, you are a Christ follower, but that wasn't the case always. So can you share a little bit about your journey, and we'll just go from there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, starting pretty young, I feel like I always obviously was involved in the church, and I always wanted a relationship with Jesus up until probably middle school, because middle school you start getting that rebellious teen. And then
I wasn't rebellious. So
yeah, during 8th grade, that's when I got a little. But I think 8th grade, I was going through a lot of changes, and I feel like that's when I first got a little touch of the depression.
Sure.
And so I gained a lot of weight because I just didn't really want to do anything. And then that's when I just started kind of having a lot of identity issues.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing a not good boy. Well,
Okay.
he's probably good now, but not in this
not at that time.
circumstance.
Right. Okay.
And so that kind of led me further from God. And then COVID happened, my 9th grade.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's when I got real crazy.
Right.
And then I was put into therapy, and then things got better, and then they got worse. But
So tell me a little bit. You know, you said you started getting depressed, and then things started to spiral a little bit. You started gaining weight, and so what was going on there, and what was influencing who your feelings and your thoughts about who you are.
It was such a weird time because I feel like a lot of it's kind of hazy, because I just didn't really do anything. I just kind of laid in bed, so all the days kind of meshed together.
Sure.
But I think that was around the time when I started kind of just getting disinterested in church, and I felt like there was no connection. And I remember I went to student camp, and I was praying, and I was God, you're not talking to me. I don't know what I did. I don't understand why you're not talking to me. And I think I just got angry because every time I'd pray, obviously my heart wasn't, my heart was just, angry. So I couldn't receive anything.
Right.
So I was you're not talking to me. And he was how could I? But, so I think that was a big part of it. And then I kind of, started getting, my sister and my mom, I kind of started pushing away more just because, I just felt like I was supposed to be cool and my friends.
I don't need my parents.
Yeah, I was oh, I'm so cool. I know more than you.
Yeah, yeah. And so because you weren't hearing from God, you're angry and just sort of pulling away from everybody just because you didn't need anybody. Yeah, got it. And then you said COVID hit, which that was hard, and you were going into 9th grade, stepping
COVID
stone.
started in the middle of 9th grade.
Yeah, and that's a big grade for because I want to say is that freshman?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a big step, and now you're at COVID and you're at home.
Yeah,
right?
And I was going through my first breakup, and I think that was just, I made a lot of mistakes in that relationship super young. So I feel I was dealing with the weight of that, and I couldn't tell anybody because obviously my friends knew, but my mom and my sister they knew something was up, but I was I'm not gonna tell them because I was just so ashamed. And so I think that was just a really dark time, and luckily my mom and dad were she needs to go into therapy. So and then in quarantine, that's when I started going to therapy.
Yeah, before you went into therapy, you you were saying you didn't want to share just because you didn't want, because of the shame,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you just didn't want to let your parents know how you were
Yeah.
feeling, right? Was there any fear there, or?
I think there was fear, but more of just like this like disgusting feeling with myself, like definitely a lot of self-loathing. And I just kind of felt dirty, and like I was like, I don't want to tell anybody that. Like,
Right.
if I could tell my friends, and it'd be a joke. But like my parents, I knew it wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
So I think it was the fear a little bit, but more just like I feel like hatred's a big word, because I
Right.
was definitely selfish because I was a teenager.
Self-condemning, just
Yeah.
not really liking yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah.
fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's when I did a whole 180 and like started restricting food.
Okay. Right. Okay. So yeah. So at that point, you're like, okay, here's what I know I can control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And so I can.
That was the
control
only
this.
thing that I
can't-
felt like I had control over.
Right. So I can't control all these other feelings and all the choices and all of this, but I can control this. Right. Okay. And then that's when you started to not eat as much, or?
Yeah, just anxiety. I got a lot of anxiety just from like that
Yeah.
high school relationship, and then like COVID happening, like so much uncertainty, and then just being in a new school. It was just kind of like, and I was like on TikTok, and like it was cool to be. It was cool to be like mentally ill and like sad. So I was like,
It was
well,
cool
let's
'cause
do it.
Everybody was, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you're saying.
It
On
wasn't.
TikTok,
It wasn't
was
actually cool.
Yeah,
But
no,
like,
but
it was like kind of like a
that's
trend to be like,
right. So you were
make bad decisions.
listening to all of that, and it was just continuing to influence your identity, because your identity, you were starting to take on depression as part of your identity, anxiety.
And being like trying to be the skinniest I could be.
Yes, because that's what you wanted to do. That was control was your identity, right? Yeah, and so then what changed? And so that was 2020. Did it go into 2021?
I think I was searching for a lot of like my like high school career. I think it just kind of kept on getting worse from there. Just because I like would look up to a lot of like my favorite show was like Sex and the City and Carrie. So I wanted to be like Carrie, and then like I kind of started getting into, so funny, like similar to my mom, like new age stuff. So that was like, I just thought that being like Christian, being a Christian was uncool.
Yeah.
And just so like immature, kind of in a way, because I was like, that's what I was when I was younger.
Right.
And I was like,
right.
I want to be cool now.
Right.
Then senior year, this wasn't senior year, this was this year actually. My first freshman year as being a college student, and I kind of had a scary situation with my good friend, spiritually, where like it was just like a spiritual attack when we were in the car together, and it like scared me straight, and I had a panic attack, and I went home, and I think from then on, like I was really just like shoved into being like, well, if like demons exist, then God has to exist.
Okay, great. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, so what I was hearing, like Sex and the City, I only watched one, just so you know. I don't know a lot about it, but I know, but that's influence. It's very influential. TikTok, right? All of these things that were influencing you and defining your identity, right? And then you said you talked a little bit about therapy, and I want to go into that a little bit. But then all of a sudden, you're in this car with your friend recently, or with last year or this year.
It was, I don't know the exact time. It was a couple months ago.
Okay.
Just a little bit
then
ago.
all of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait a minute. The sort of reality hitting, and so.
It was life altering.
It was
sure.
life altering.
It was a feeling I never want to feel again.
Yeah,
so.
and did that cause you to lean in on Jesus even more? What happened there?
So when I was in the car with my first, so some background, my friend was really into like tarot and being able to like speak to like spirits. Yeah. And obviously I was never bothered by it because I left her and I was like if that's what you want to do, it doesn't affect me, it's fine.
Right.
But there was after we watched a scary movie, actually, I think it just like triggered this like just bad entity to be in the car, and I think like once you like feel that feeling, you know exactly how it feels. It just feels like it's like taken over, and like I don't know, it's super scary. And so I like after that moment, I got home and I was like, I'm ready to be a Christian. Like I had my mom sleep in the bed with me because I was so scared, and I was like, I need God because I never want to feel that again.
Right.
So and my mom told me, she's like, wherever Jesus is, like demons can't be near you because they're scared.
Right.
Like they can't be
That's
near
right.
him.
That's right.
So I think that was like the biggest thing that like pushed me into like actually getting serious about being a Christian was like nothing like evil spirits can't hurt me if Jesus is there.
Yeah, right. If you've got Jesus in the center of your life and you're walking with him, right, and you're following him, you're not allowing any of those influences, not of this world, demonic influences, to define who you are. And I use the word influence a couple times here. Influence what you do and how you act. Right. Well, we're gonna come back to all this because there's so much more I want to dive into, and so you guys, this is Katie, and please join us again on the next episode because you're gonna learn more about her identity and where she is right now, and finding and knowing who she is in Christ and her true identity in Christ. See you soon.